gunshot broke the quiet kitchen without warning. In one sudden moment, an 84-year-old man raised a firearm and shot his own son in the face. Blood hit the floor. A scream followed. The argument about family visits was over, replaced by panic, fear, and shock. The son fell, badly hurt, while his wife stood frozen, unable to believe what had just happened. The father stood there, shaking, the gun still in his hand. What pushed a family moment into this nightmare was something no one expected. And as sirens rushed closer, one question hung in the air. How did it ever reach this point? Just hours earlier, the house in Palm Bay, Florida felt tense but calm. The elderly father lived there with his wife, who was in hospice care, and an adult daughter who needed daily help. At 84 years old, the man carried heavy stress every day. He was tired, worried, and overwhelmed. He believed his son and daughter-in-law were not visiting enough. To him, it felt like being abandoned when he needed help the most. That evening, the son and his wife came by the house. What should have been a simple visit quickly turned uncomfortable. Words became sharper, voices grew louder. The father accused his son of not caring, of leaving him alone to handle everything by himself. The son tried to explain, but the talk turned into a heated argument. The room felt smaller, tempers flared, old feelings came rushing back. Then the father said something that stopped everyone cold. He told his son to get out of the house. His voice was angry and serious. Moments later, he walked away and returned with a gun. The daughter-in-law begged him to stop. She pleaded, asking him to put the weapon down. For a brief second, it seemed like he might listen. Instead, the argument reached its breaking point. The father pulled the trigger. The bullet struck his son in the face and jaw. The son collapsed, bleeding badly. The daughter-in-law screamed for help and called 911. The father appeared confused, breathing hard, as if he did not fully understand what he had done. The house that once held family memories became the scene of a violent crime. Police arrived quickly. Paramedics rushed the injured son to the hospital. Doctors worked fast to save his life. He had serious injuries, with bullet fragments still in his face. The father was taken for medical checks because his blood pressure was dangerously high. Soon after, he was arrested and charged with attempted murder. As neighbors watched in shock and flashing lights filled the street, the family's private pain became public. An argument about visits had turned into a life-changing tragedy, and while the son fought to survive in the hospital, the father sat alone, facing the weight of what he had done. But this was only the beginning of the story. What led an elderly man to such a breaking point, and what happened next inside the hospital and the courtroom would reveal even deeper truths about family, pressure, and regret. Doctors rushed the son into emergency surgery as soon as he arrived at the hospital. His face was badly injured. Blood covered his clothes. Nurses moved fast, shouting instructions, while machines beeped around him. Surgeons worked carefully, trying to save his life and protect what they could of his jaw and face. For hours, no one knew if he would survive. His wife waited nearby, shaken, replaying the gunshot in her mind again and again. While the son fought for his life, police questioned the 84-year-old father. He looked small, sitting in the chair, his hands trembling. Officers said he seemed confused and upset. He kept talking about being tired. He talked about how hard life had become. He said he felt alone. To police, he admitted pulling the trigger, but his words showed deep regret mixed with anger and pain.
Investigators learned more about the family situation. The father had been caring for his wife, who was in hospice, and for a disabled adult daughter. Every day was filled with stress, medical needs, and fear of losing his wife. He felt overwhelmed and believed his son was not helping enough. The lack of visits hurt him deeply. In his mind, the argument that night was about more than just one weekend. It was about feeling forgotten. Police arrested the father and booked him into the Brevard County Jail. Because of the serious charge, he was held without bond. News of the shooting spread quickly through the community. Neighbors could not believe what had happened. Many described the family as quiet. Some said they had seen the father sitting outside alone for long periods of time. At the hospital, doctors finally gave an update. The son survived the surgery, but his injuries were severe. He remained sedated, with more procedures likely ahead. His recovery would be long and painful. His wife stayed by his side, holding his hand, hoping he would wake up. She later told police she never thought a family argument could turn deadly. In the days that followed, the case moved into the court system. The father appeared before a judge for the first time. He was brought in slowly, wearing jail clothing. He did not look angry anymore. He looked tired and scared. The judge explained the charges clearly: attempted murder, a serious crime with life-changing consequences. The courtroom was quiet as the judge spoke. The father did not argue. He did not speak much at all. His attorney asked for time, pointing to his age and health. The judge ordered him to remain in custody. An arraignment date was set for the future. Outside the courtroom, the family stayed silent. No statements were made. The pain was too fresh. One man was fighting to heal. Another was facing prison in the final years of his life. And the family was torn apart by one moment of anger. But the hardest part was still ahead. When the son finally wakes up, he will learn who pulled the trigger, and the truth of that moment may change everything forever. The son slowly opened his eyes in the hospital room. Bright lights hurt his vision. His face felt heavy and numb. Tubes and wires surrounded him. When he tried to move, pain rushed through his jaw. Doctors told him he had been shot and that he was lucky to be alive. Then came the hardest part. They told him who pulled the trigger. Silence filled the room. The man who raised him, who taught him how to work and survive, was the one who nearly killed him. The son closed his eyes again. Tears fell. The truth was harder to accept than the pain in his body. His wife held his hand, trying to stay strong for both of them. No words felt right. As days passed, the son went through more treatments. Doctors explained that his recovery would take months, maybe longer. Eating and speaking would not be easy. His face would never look the same. Every small movement reminded him of that night in the kitchen. Every quiet moment brought back the sound of the gunshot. Meanwhile, the father remained behind bars. Alone in a jail cell, he spent his days thinking. Guards said he often stared at the wall. He spoke little. At times, he asked about his son, but answers were limited. The weight of his actions pressed heavily on him. At 84 years old, he now faced the possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison. The case shocked many people across Florida. Some felt anger, others felt sadness. Many asked the same question: how could a family argument end this way? Experts pointed to stress, age, and long-term pressure. Caring for sick family members can break even the strongest people, but still, nothing could excuse pulling a trigger. The court prepared for the next steps. Prosecutors reviewed evidence. Police reports described the argument and the warning the father gave before shooting. The law was clear. The act was serious. The outcome could change 2 lives forever. Back at the house, the rooms stayed quiet. The kitchen where it happened looked the same, but everything felt different. Memories of family meals were now mixed with fear and regret. A home once filled with life had become a reminder of loss. For the son, healing was not just physical. He had to face anger, confusion, and grief all at once. For the father, regret came too late. One moment of rage destroyed the bond between them. This shocking Florida crime is not just about a gun or an argument. It is about pressure, loneliness, and what happens when emotions are left to grow unchecked. One night changed a family forever. And as the court date gets closer, one final question remains. Will justice bring peace, or will this family carry the pain of that gunshot for the rest of their lives?